We are Zooming with Matthew McConaughey, the author of Green Lights, his new book, and a just well-loved movie and TV actor. Hello.
Good morning, gang. How we doing?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, I just want to say hearing your voice has reminded me I have listened to your meditation tapes online. Very relaxing.
Oh, yeah. Some people have told me, that I've put them to sleep.
But that's the aim of it, right? You are there to relax people and put them to sleep.
Sometimes we did a Calm app that read some stories and then had a lot of people go up and go, yeah. They wanted to sell it, actually. One of the Calm apps had the reading of Go to Bed with Matthew McConaughey. And I said, no, good line, but I'm not using that one. go with the other one of, let McConaughey put you to sleep. That's better.
Now, so your new book, you spent 52 days in the desert writing this book. Did you have snacks?
Oh, I had better than snacks. I took a cooler with ribeyes.
Oh wow!
In my own personal rub. So I took a little barbecue where I'd every evening at about 7 o'clock I'd go mix my first cocktail and I'd have that fire going and cook myself a big badass ribeye for dinner.
Let's talk about this your own rub recipe. Obviously, these things are sacred and you don't just share them with everybody. But can you share them with me?
Absolutely not.
What about you could do a cookbook next? It could be like get rubbed down with Matthew McConaughey.
I'd buy that.
Get the rub.
Yeah. And then get put to sleep.
Yeah.
No, this is mine, and I'm starting to work on packaging for it, but mainly right now when I give it to people, I make it, I put it in large Ziplocs, I wrap it up, and it absolutely looks like contraband. I drop it off in the mailbox.
Nice.
So
all the best meat rubs should.
Yeah. Is this more glamping then? Were you in just a giant tent in the desert, or was it a house?
No, it was a cabin.
Right.
A little cabin in the middle of the desert, where I mainly spent my time. I had a generator, so if I need electricity I brought my printer. If I need electricity to plug my laptop in, I do that. But mainly I was just writing by hand and going through this big treasure chest of diaries that I've been keeping for 36 years.
But you were completely alone by yourself.
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Oh.
And when did you do this? When was your isolation? Because the isolation has been the craze of 2020. Everybody isolated. Pre-COVID.
Yeah, this was way pre-COVID. I didn't know what I was getting ready for. Yeah, I was working out, getting ready for COVID to quarantine. No, it was all pre-COVID.
Right. And did you get back to the cabin when COVID, like when there was isolation in place? Did you take yourself away again?
I was already back home. Really done with all the writing. I was just on the editing of the book once I was back home when COVID hit. And then we've just been here quarantined at the house for the past, 6-7 months, me, my kids, my wife, and my 88-year-old mother. So we're still in a pretty heavy quarantine here.
Right. Wow. And when you were out there, you also wrote an album. So when will we hear that? Is there plans to release it, or is that something you just did for yourself?
It was mainly for myself. I am going to be putting something out, though, a Green Lights album, a playlist on Spotify coming up, which are songs that were sort of inspirations, mainly not for the writing of it, but inspirations of times that I found music that helped me find my frequency through my last 50 years of the stories that you see in the book. So there's everything starting from some stuff starting in early 70s that lead all the way up to today.
So you had how many years of diaries? 32 years of diaries?
36.
36 years of diaries.
Wow.
Looking back, I didn't keep a diary a lot. Got one for Christmas, would do like the first couple of weeks of January and then the habit would disappear. But
Yeah.
I found one semi-recently from my last year of high school. It was so cringeworthy and embarrassing to read. I would shudder at the thought of it being shared. How have you stumbled across that or?
Yes. Hell yeah, that's why I've been threatening to write a book for the past 15 years, but didn't have the courage because I didn't want that. I'm looking over there at that treasure chest of diaries going, man, I'm not opening that. That's going to be embarrassing, man. It's going to be shame. And, like going to, once I decided that's what I was going to go do, and my wife said, get the hell out of here. Take that treasure chest of diaries away and see what's in it, like you've been threatening to do for 15 years but haven't done. Once I did, like going to work out, what's the hardest part about working out? tying our shoes to get out the damn door.
Yeah.
Once I loaded up and said, I'm out of here, and I sat down with it, I actually found that the stuff thought I was going to be really embarrassed about, I laughed at myself. I was like, what were you thinking, you idiot? Blah, blah, blah. And then the stuff that I thought I might be shamed about, I was like, I kind of forgave myself about it and said, like, no, it's okay. I see you going through. You were trying to figure shit out, and you always have been. And it was easier. I had much more fun than I thought, because for that reason, I was afraid to do it, mainly for embarrassment and shame of what I might find.
Do you still keep a diary, even though you've kind of written about your past ones? What's your, I was going to say technique, but what's your routine with it? Do you do it every day? Because obviously you're quite busy.
Well, now I'm doing it, notes on the phone. I go to my phone, 70% of the time I go to my phone is to write myself. I take notes, so I hear something, or I think of something, and I'll write it down. And then at the end of, say, every couple of weeks I get some time, I'll go back through all those notes, see what my central theme of thinking has been over the last 2 weeks, and transcribe some stuff over to paper or file it in a different file. Like this book, the diaries, I didn't know what the hell they were all going to be. I looked at them and I said, I got to find some consistency. And what did I find? I found stories, people, places, prescriptions, poems, prayers, and a whole hell of a lot of bumper stickers. And that was the stack that I had in front of me. And then from those, the central theme came to what the title is, Green Lights, as I found there were ways that I had created green lights in my life. There were red lights and yellow lights that had turned green later in my life. And there were lessons that I learned from reds and yellows crises in my life that I was like, you know what? I'm glad I had that red light in my life, because I got something from it.
Is there, throughout those diaries, is there any notes when you were working on characters? I mean, you've played some amazing roles in movies and TV over the time.
I keep a diary with every role in every film I've ever done, every character.
Wow.
So it's notes, a lot of it's notes on the particular character, but what I found is most of it is ways I was seeing the world, me, Matthew, through those characters' eyes at that time. So I was still philosophizing and writing about and trying to figure stuff out and writing down cool things I'd heard and seen, but they were through that character's eyes. So a lot of it I found, the same subjects I was writing about at 15, I'm still writing about today. I just have different questions and have evolved my thinking somewhat. Same subjects through all those characters I've played, 54 characters' eyes, very different way of looking at the same subject all the way through all those characters, and I found those in the diaries as well.
So what were you writing about at 15? What are some of the themes?
Well, 15, I'm going to, who the hell am I? What's this all about? Why, Sherry broke up with me. I'm crying, my heart hurt. Why do I have all these pimples? You know what I mean? Hair growing up down there, oh my God, and then, like most people, you go to a diary when you're kind of initially you go to a diary when things aren't going well. You go to a diary when you're like going, oh shit, I'm trying to figure stuff out. In my early 20s, when I started really, I was on a roll. I was like, relationships were good. My grades were good. I just booked my first job and I had a little cash in my pocket. I was rolling. And I remember, I wasn't writing in my diaries near as much when things were going well. But I remember telling myself, look, McConaughey, go write this stuff down when you're succeeding. So later on, you can dissect your success when you're failing again, which you will. And that's been one of the cool things is I've been able to go back when I'll go get in a rut in life now. I can go back and look at what my habits were when I was rolling. I'm talking about who I was hanging around with, where I was going, what I was eating, how much sleep I was getting, et cetera, what I was drinking. You know what I mean? What was I doing? And so it's in the book about dissecting. We're told to dissect failure so often, but we should remember to dissect our success. Let's dissect what we're doing when things are rolling, when we're getting along well with our wife, when work is fun, when we're doing our best work. Write down, go to our diaries then too.
Mm.
And you say prayer, but I didn't get like an overly religious feel to it. Would you say it's more of a spiritual approach to life? As you say, a lot of reflection.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It's my favorite subject. I've enjoyed all my life trying to figure out what life's about, what this riddle is we're in, and how can I be most myself in it? How can I be better at it? How can I take care of myself and my loved ones the most? I mean, that's essentially inherently spiritual, I suppose. I understand the impermanence of the life that we're living in, but also, I do a lot of studying into what makes me laugh, what makes us happy, what makes me get off to life, what turns us on. So I've been in the constant pursuit of that. I think we all are to some extent.
Was it turning 50 that made you think this needs to be done? Or was
Probably, I know it had something to do with it. It's bound to have something to do with it. It's bound to be, I know that inherently, even subconsciously, I was like, oh, I'm coming on 50. Huh, okay. There's the old half a century. Okay. That made me go, and I have been doing this for the last 4 or 5 years. What are the legacy choices you're making, McConaughey? I've asked myself that. What are the choices you're making that once you're dead and gone, you're going to be able to hand this off to your kids? And what are the choices you're making that you can hand something off to your kids that they can hand off to their kids? And so that's been a new choice-making paradigm for me in the last 4 or 5 years. And I think coming on 50 gave me also the courage to go, well, let's go see who you've been the last 50. And let's see if it's worth sharing in a book.
I think the rub could be a legacy item too.
The rub is definitely legacy.
Yeah, pass it to your children and say, this is the McConaughey rub. The secret must never get out, but it must live.
That's it.
Through the generations.
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, we've had, this has been fantastic to have a chat to you.
Is it?
Like, I think about, I watched Dazed and Confused so many times in the 90s because I was like a teenager when I first saw it, and it resonated, that whole coming of age tale. And now my daughters have watched Sing, dare I say, thousands of times. You've been in both those movies, so you've been with the family. I had to make one for
my kids, man.
100%.
I haven't seen anything for my kids, and I'm like, my kids haven't seen any of the stuff I do. I can't show my kids Dazed and Confused yet. I can't show them True Detective yet. I mean, I had to make something for them to see. So yeah, I got a little credit in my own household once I made Sing.
Yeah, no, I think my kids absolutely loved it. And there's another Sing in the works, or a...
It's in the works.
Yeah,
I know it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
But we've been doing a lot of recording on that.
That's awesome. Well, I know my family.
We had a
loved it.
Dazed and Confused virtual read through with the entire cast yesterday.
I know. I saw it.
Yeah.
It was wild and cool, man, to see everybody. It was really cool.
Because that was really early on in your career. Was 93?
No, that's the first one.
Yeah.
That's the summer of 92. I'm in college. I walk in the right bar at the right time, meet the right guy who says, you ever done any acting? I said, no, it was in a Miller Lite commercial for that long. Because you might be right. Come to this address. There's a script waiting for you. I go down there, pick it up. 3 lines turned into 3 weeks work for me on that. I go back, graduate college, drive out to Hollywood with $2,000 in a U-Haul because that movie had just come out. So that got me some meetings. And here I am.
And it gave us so many amazing catchphrases as well.
All right. That's the first 3 words I ever said on film.
Wow. Is there any aim that if you ever retire from acting, it'll be the last 3 words you say on film? How bookending perfect would that be?
It, man. Yeah. Well, people say that hey, they ask me all the time, does that kind of, you get tired of that sort of introducing you or preceding you or people tattooing it on their bodies or saying it or whatever? I'm like, hell no, I love it. Because it is the first 3 words I said in a summer of my life where I thought I just got 2 days work and a little hobby, a little cool thing that I was like, oh, that was cool. I remember that time in 92, I got to act in that movie. Damn, and it turned out to be a career.
But what if you were having a meal at a restaurant, it's just you and your family and someone's like, all right, like over the room, would you be like,
I always just look up and go, yeah, I'm the author. Yeah.
Copyright, McConaughey. Along with the rub, it's a secret. You'll never know the ingredients.
No, the rub is a secret. All right is more public domain.
Right, yeah. Free to use. Not the rub.
Green Lights is out, Matthew McConaughey. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.